What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mark. So hope you're all staying safe and well out there. So Newcastle, of course, are back in Premier League action this Sunday at 2 p.m. kickoff live on Sky Sports at St James's Park. And of course, this is the reverse of the 3-1 win that we had down at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest this season. We've already played Nottingham Forest 2 times this season, once in the League Cup down at theirs and once, of course, in the League, winning on both occasions, one on a penalty shootout, of course, for the League Cup, and a 3-1 win in the League. So this is a chance for us to do a fourth double this season over yet another team. We've already gotten a double over Spurs, a double over Wolves, and a double over Southampton. So if we can get all 3 points in this game on Sunday, then we will be coming away from St James's Park with a double against Nottingham Forest as well, taking the total of doubles to 4 doubles this season against teams in the Premier League, which is a really impressive stat, I've got to say. Looking at the Nottingham Forest team news coming into this game, of course, their goalkeeper Carlos Miguel and Taiwo Awani are doubts, of course, but on the old boys side of things, of course, Elliot Anderson, Matt Sells and Chris Wood, ex-Newcastle players, of course, could feature in the game. Chris Wood has been banging in some goals this season for, of course, Nottingham Forest, with 18 goals and 2 assists in 25 games played. Elliot Anderson, who, of course, joined them in the summer, has 1 goal and 5 assists in 24 games played. And of course, Matt Sells is the #1 keeper for Nottingham Forest as well this season. So hopefully we can see a pretty entertaining game from us against Nottingham Forest. It's going to be an interesting one for sure, because Nottingham Forest have been doing really well this season, as have ourselves as well. And looking at Nottingham Forest's form coming into this one, they've lost their last 2 away Premier League games, 5-0 loss to Bournemouth and a 2-1 loss to, of course, Fulham. The referee and VAR for this game will be Jared Gillette on officiating, and on VAR it will be Peter Wanks, of course, or Peter Banks as most people would call him, but I call him Peter Wanks because he's always making part decisions. But it is going to be a Scouse contingent on the officiating side of things, with the Aussie Scouser in Jared Gillette and Peter Wanks on VAR. So hopefully they don't have to be involved too much into the game. We're seeing a bit too much of that Northwest contingent creeping into Newcastle's matches this season. We've seen it a lot this season. Referees from Manchester, referees from Liverpool keep sticking their nose in and getting, appointed as the officials for our games, and they haven't been great this season neither. There's been quite a few dodgy calls being made by the officials this season as well. Okay, so looking at the stats on the Newcastle side of things, we are looking to avoid, of course, a 3rd consecutive home league defeat for the first time since, of course, February 2021, when Bacon Tits Steve Bruce was in charge as the manager. And of course, like I just said, we are on a lookout for a 4th double of the season as well, after already getting one over Spurs, Wolves and Southampton. Looking at the head-to-head for this one as well, with Nottingham Forest, out of 10 games played at St James's Park, Newcastle has won 7. Nottingham Forest have, of course, won 3. And the most recent win, of course, was in the 22-23 campaign. It was a 2-0 win. Fabian Shaw and, of course, Callum Wilson. And the most recent loss was, of course, the 23-24 campaign. It was a 3-1 loss. That was, of course, Isak with a penalty, and I believe that was the game where Chris Wood scored a hat-trick against us in that game. So hopefully that doesn't happen again this time. Touch wood on that one. But looking at our team news going into the game, Sven Botman may return to the lineup, and Joe Linton and Jamal Lascelles still remain unavailable, according to the news that I'm getting, of course, on the 20th, which is when I am recording this video ahead of the game, of course, on Sunday. So let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen in this game? What's your score predictions for this game as well? I'm going to go with a very tight scoreline. I'll be happy to take a 1-0 win in this game and move on with all 3 points and get another double over another team this season. But if we can get a little bit more than that, then it would be nice. So I would say a 2-1 win for this game, but like I say, I'd happily take a 1-0 win and move on from this game, of course, because you know it's 3 points in the bag. Doesn't matter if you score 2, 3 or 4 goals, you know you're still going to get 3 points either way. So I'd happily take a 1-0, get the 3 points in the bag, you know, and then focus on the next game after this one, of course, which is going to be an interesting game because it is, of course, us taking on Liverpool down at Anfield. So it'll be an interesting one to see, you know, how we go about the setup for this game, with that game against Liverpool being next, of course, down at Anfield. So will Eddie go with a full strength squad for this game against Nottingham Forest, or will he go with a somewhat lessened squad and go with the full strength squad for the game against Liverpool? Or will it be true Eddie Howe fashion, focus on the Nottingham Forest game, see what the result is, then focus on, of course, the Liverpool game? I think it may be the latter, to be honest, but I really do hope we'll go with full strength squads in both games, of course, and take, you know, both these games serious, because we need to get the points on the board. We need to start building them points up, because when you look at the Premier League table, you know, we are at the moment currently 7th in the league. If we get 3 points on Sunday, that will take us to 44 points. And as the table is at the moment, if the results go in our favour, we can go up to 5th place. Then say we get a result against Liverpool, be it a draw or a win. If we want to get the win, you know, then that's again another 3 points in the bag. If we get a draw, then it's only a point in the bag, you know. But we need to be starting to collect these points now with 25 games played in the league. You know, we need to be pushing ourselves into them Champions League places in the league, because we need to be playing Champions League football next season. If we're not playing Champions League football next season, then at bare minimum we need to be playing Europa League football next season, because we'll be able to get more money into the coffers that way and be able to then, you know, help with the funds going into the summer window for, of course, next season. But anyway, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember, hit like, share, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff, and I'll see you all for the next one, however that's.